This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, January the 7th, is a CFL place-kicking icon. I know I have a soft spot for the CFL and certain players, but this guy is an icon. For 4 different CFL franchises, an XFL team, an NFL Europe team, and even in Scottish 3rd Division. So anyway, Paul McCallum played 23 years in the CFL. He's from British Columbia. He played for a BC team in the Junior Football League. He was a soccer prodigy for BC and even went to a 3rd Division club, St. Mirren, to play soccer there. He had a cousin who also played pro soccer for Celtic, Wolfsburg, Nottingham, and Aberdeen, among others. And then he went back at the age of 23 back to Canada to play junior football. McCallum wanted the CFL to allow the Canadian junior CFL players to have the ability to attend evaluation camp. And, that's fine. Sure. Anyhow, so Hamilton added him to their negotiation list and decided to sign him to a contract. He didn't stick with Hamilton, he stuck with BC and Ottawa for small stints and all that. Anyway, it is what it is. So after a few tries with BC and Ottawa, which he wasn't the main kicker, BC was Louis Pasaglia, went to Saskatchewan for 2 years. He decided to go to the World League of American Football just before it was named NFL Europe, and went with the Scottish Claymores and helped them win the World Bowl over Frankfurt in front of 38,000 fans. So that was huge. He won a World League Championship. So anyway, many players on the Scottish Claymores: Yo Murphy and Scotland rugby star Gavin Hastings. So after his trip back to Canada, he signed with Saskatchewan, but unfortunately, early into his first season with Saski, after being in the World League of American Football, he tore his ACL. And then he would kick for Saski for a few more years, until 2000 when he decided to sign to Las Vegas in the XFL. And it was Las Vegas' only kicker. He was the kicker. He actually made history, becoming scoring the first ever points in XFL history with a field goal against New York. So McCallum played for Las Vegas in the XFL. It was a spring football league. And then after the XFL folded, McCallum found his way back to the CFL and back to Saskatchewan. He would put a wind-aided 62-yard field goal against Edmonton to win the game, 12-3. In the 2004 CFL playoffs, McCallum had an 18-yard field goal, which would have given Saski a big lead over BC. In BC. And somehow, in some way, he botched it. Saski ended up losing the game, and the fans took their outrage to McCallum's Northwest Regina home, dumping eggs, manure, and other death threats to the family. Unfortunately, this made national news, and the Saski Rough Riders and the Regina mayor said that this was just hooliganism at its worst. Saskatchewan wanted him to take a pay cut after the 2005 season, but he declined. Then he decided to sign with his hometown BC Lions for the second time. And it worked. He was in the Grey Cup in 2006, helped BC win that Grey Cup with 6 field goals, which tied a record for most field goals in one Grey Cup game. McCallum looked pretty decent and all that, and had 46 field goals in the 2010 season, which was pretty good. He was actually named a nominee for Most Outstanding Player, or the CFL's MVP, well, BC's representative, and Most Outstanding Canadian, not winning either. So anyway, he would set the record for most consecutive field goals in CFL history with 30, but that was broken a couple years later by Rene Paredes. Despite all that, McCallum would kick 50 of 53 field goals for the 2011 Lions. 94% accuracy, which was a record, and he was good. He was the most outstanding special teams player in the CFL in 2011. He has a decent season with BC in 2012, becoming the 5th player to play 20 or more years in the CFL. Most of them are, of course, field goal kickers. Anyway, McCallum still was kicking pretty well for BC and all that. In 2015, it was announced he would be coming back for his 23rd season in the CFL. But BC released him after refusing to retire. McCallum would sign with Saski for the second time in July 2015, playing 14 games. Unfortunately, he missed a few key field goal attempts and was actually dumped off. McCallum would sign a one-day contract to retire as a member of the BC Lions, and was named to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 2022. So there's a lot of achievements. He's the last active player to play in the XFL in any league. Like, he played in any football league to still be in the to be an XFL alumnus. Scored the first ever points in XFL history with a field goal. Longest field goal made at 62 yards in the CFL, which is shocking to say the least. That record is shorter than the NFL's. 4th most games played in CFL history, 2nd most field goals behind only Louis Bisaglia. The last active player to play against an American team after the CFL's U.S. experiment failed in '95, and went 6 for 6 at the 2006 Grey Cup, tying the record set by Sean Fleming, if me serves me right. So Paul McCallum's achievements cannot be undershadowed. I mean, this guy is CFL royalty, and I like it for it. Anyhow, I'm Jeff7.